Well, in these southern Illinois watersheds, and this one is a typical one, it really is phosphorus. And phosphorus is the major nutrient that's lost that causes water quality problems. And the phosphorus primarily comes from surface runoff. So when we have hillier ground that is tilled more often, has more erosion, that's where we see the higher phosphorus losses. So those concentrations are very low. They tend to be only a few tenths of a milligram per liter, but from a water quality perspective, that's really important. And so that adds up to just a pound, half a pound to a pound or two of phosphorus loss per acre. It takes a little bit of phosphorus to cause an algal bloom. And so these concentrations are typically well above that amount. And that's what makes it challenging to reduce, because we're only talking about a pound or two and we're trying to reduce that by 45%. Since most of the losses of phosphorus are, there is some losses from tiles, but in these watersheds it's primarily surface runoff. So practices that reduce surface runoff losses, and so that's reduced tillage. There's a lot of fields that don't need to be tilled as much as they do, and so reducing tillage reduces erosion losses, and that cuts down on the phosphorus loss. Another one is not adding phosphorus fertilizers when the soil test says you don't need them. A large part of this watershed and others in Illinois don't need phosphorus fertilizer for many years into the future. So if we didn't add phosphorus fertilizer, that can help to reduce the losses. So following the soil test, we can't emphasize that enough. That's a really important thing to utilize. Two other practices that can really help, again, are cover crops. Cover crops help to reduce the losses through erosion. And then finally, riparian buffer strips. So either grass or some kind of vegetative buffer strip on the edge of the field, that can help to trap any sediment that's being lost from the field and keep it out of the stream or the river. In watersheds like this one, nitrate and nitrogen losses are much smaller. There isn't much of a nitrogen loss from surface runoff. Those tend to be very small amounts, and so the nitrate that is lost tends to go into groundwater. So even though nitrate may not be causing a surface water problem in this watershed, it still can be contaminating groundwater. But then the losses to streams and rivers are actually on the lower end. So things like cover crops and better nitrogen fertilizer management still can help reduce even those losses in these kind of watersheds.